Good afternoon, grade 9s. I will be doing general ledger for you. What is it that you need to know about general ledger? How do we do the ledger accounts? Uh, when you are taking the information from the CPJ, CRJ, debtors journal, and creditors journal, how do we compile the general ledger? Now let's go to this activity. There is an activity that we'll do of a general ledger. Now, this activity you are given 4 accounts that you must complete for SAM traders for November 2024, and you need to balance all the accounts at the end of the month. You need to do a bank account, you need to do inventory account, debtors control, and stationery. The first question that we should ask ourselves is what type of account is bank. Bank, it is an asset. We know bank is an asset. So we need to follow that click. We need to follow that click. Which side does assets increase? They increase on the debit side. We need to follow that click. Which side does assets increase? They increase on the debit side. Now, since bank is an asset, so it means that it increases on the debit side and decreases on the credit side. What type of account is inventory? It is also an asset, so it means that also it increases on the debit side and decreases on the credit side. So under bank, the money that is coming inside our bank account, it will go to the debit side, and the money that is coming outside our bank account, it will go to the credit side. The money from the CRJ that is coming inside our bank account, it will go on the debit side. And the money that is going outside to the of our bank account from the CPJ, it is going to go to the credit side. And now, under inventory, the inventory that we are purchasing, the inventory that is coming inside the business, it is going to go to the debit side. And the inventory that we are selling, that is going to go to a customer, it is going to go to a credit side. All right. Now, what type of account is debtors control? Debtors control, it is an asset. Debtors control also, it is an asset, meaning that it increases on the debit side and decreases on the credit side. When a debtor is paying, we're going to write on the credit side, and when we are selling more on credit to a debtor, we are going to write on the debit side. When we sell more on credit to a debtor, we are going to write on the debit side, and when a debtor is paying, we are going to write on the credit side. All right. Now, also, what type of account is stationery? Stationery is an expense. Stationery is an expense. Stationery is an expense. So, meaning that it increases on the debit side and decreases on the credit side. Now, expense that we are purchasing, we are going to go and write it on the debit side. We only purchase stationery. We do not sell stationery. So the stationery that we are purchasing, we are going to write it on the debit side. All right. Now let's go and look at the information that we are given so that we are able to do these 4 ledger accounts of SAM traders for November 2024. Now we are given this information. We are given information from the CRJ bank of 65,400, and we are given information from the CPJ. We are given information from the debtors journal, and we are given information from the creditors journal. Information from the CRJ is bank, sales, cost of sales, and debtors control. Information from the cash payment journal, it is uh, bank inventory, wages, and stationery. And information from the debtors journal, which is sales and cost of sales. And information from the creditors journal, it is inventory and stationery. So this is the information that we are given. So we must create the four accounts, uh, that is bank, inventory, debtors control, and stationery. Now we'll start by doing a bank account. How do we do a bank account? We said we write the money from the CRJ on the debit side because we are receiving that money. That money is coming inside our bank account. It is increasing our bank. So our bank is an asset. It increases on the debit side. And we are writing the money on the credit side, the money from the CPJ, we will write it on the credit side because it is the money that is going out of our bank account. So it is decreasing our bank account. So this money, that is 65,400 from the CRJ, we'll write it on the debit side as total receipts. We'll write total receipts, and this money from the CPJ will write it on the credit side as total payments because those are the amounts that went out of our bank account. It is the total of the amount that went out of our bank account. And here, this is the total on the CRJ. This is the total of the amount that we have received. So the amount on the CRJ goes on the debit side and the amount on the CPJ goes on the credit side. We write the amount on the CRJ as total receipts and we write the amount on the CPJ as total payments. Now let's go and see how we can do our bank account. This is our bank account. So we write the on date you write November 31 November because we compile out a ledger at the end of the month. So we write November 31st November 2025, and on debit side you write total receipts and you write on folio you write CRJ and you write your amount of 65,400. That is from the CRJ information. And also on credit side you write November 2025 31st, you write total payments on details and you write on folio CPJ because that money is from the cash payment channel information. And then you write your amount of 45,600. Now we need to balance our bank account because we are asked to balance all our accounts. How do we balance our bank account? We will look at the bigger side. Which side is bigger between credit and debit side? It is debit side. So we'll write the total of debit side on both sides. The total it is 65,400. So we'll write that amount on both sides. And then after, we'll say the credit side, that is 45,600 because it is the smaller side. So we'll say 65,400 minus the smaller side, that is 45,600. And then we'll get a difference that is short on the credit side. And we'll write it as balance carried down, that is 19,800. But we're not done. We also need to say, if we say the money that we have received and the money that we have paid, how much will remain in our bank account next month, in the month of December? It will be 19,800 and we'll come write it as balance brought down after the total. That is how we balance our bank account. But now we were also asked to complete inventory account. We were also asked to complete inventory account of Sam Traders for November 2025. How do we do inventory account? Now, when we do inventory account, we look at the inventory in the CPJ and the inventory in the creditors journal, and we write those two amounts in the debit side of our inventory account. Now, the inventory in the CPJ, it is the inventory that we have purchased on cash And the inventory in the creditors journal, it is the inventory that we have purchased on credit. Those two inventories, they need to go to the debit side of our inventory account. They are increasing our inventory. When we are purchasing inventory, it means there is more inventory that is coming inside the business. So those two amounts, they need to go to the debit side of our inventory account. But now, when we are purchasing inventory on cash, we have two accounts that are affected. It is inventory and and bank, because we exchange money for inventory. So two accounts are affected. It is inventory and bank. So when we are increasing our inventory on the debit side, we write bank on details, and the inventory on the creditors journal, it is the inventory that we have purchased on credit. So two accounts that are affected. It is bank, it is inventory and creditors control. So when we are increasing our inventory, we'll write creditors control. All right. Now we are done with the debit side. And we also must look at the cost of sales in the CRJ and debtors journal. And we must write those two amounts on the credit side of our inventory account. The credits, the cost of sales in the CRJ and debtors journal, they stand for the inventory that we have sold. So they are decreasing our inventory, and we need to write those two amounts on the credit side of our inventory account. Since inventory is an asset, it decreases on the credit side. So we need to write those two amounts on the credit side of our inventory account. Now, let's go and look on our given information. If we do have inventory in the CPJ and we do have inventory on the creditors journal, and we'll write those amounts on the debit side. And if we do have cost of sales in the CRJ and cost of sales on the debtors journal, and we'll write those two amounts on the debit side. Let's go to the CPJ. On the CPJ, there is our inventory. There is our inventory on the CPJ. So this inventory, it is going to go to the debit side. It is going to go to the debit side of our inventory account. Now, because that inventory, we purchase it cash, so we are going to go and write it by bank. Everything that you take from the CPJ, you write it by bank, and everything that you take from the creditors journal, you write it by creditors control. All right, so this inventory is going to go to the debit side of our inventory account, and we'll write it by bank. And this inventory, this inventory on the creditors journal, it is going to go to the debit side of our bank account, because we are purchasing inventory on credit. So our inventory is increasing. So our inventory is an asset, it increases on the debit side. So this is going to go to the debit side of our inventory account. All right. Now, we said also we look at cost of sales from the CRJ. There is cost of sales from the CRJ. So these cost of sales from the CRJ, they will go to the credit side of our inventory account. And these cost of sales from the debtors journal, they will also go to the credit side of our inventory account, because we said they stand for the inventory that we have sold. So let's go and do our inventory. So these two amounts, we'll write it on the debit side of our inventory accounts, because we are purchasing, so that is increasing our inventory. These two amounts will go to the debit side, these two amounts will go to the credit side of our inventory account, because they are decreasing our inventory. So we are selling. Let's go and write on the inventory account. So this amount, this one, it is from the CPJ. It is 30,000 from the CPJ. It is the inventory that we have purchased cash. And this amount, it is the inventory from the creditors journal. It is the inventory that we have purchased on credit. So it is increasing our inventory. And these cost of sales, they are from the CRJ, and these cost of sales, they are from the debtors journal, and they are they are decreasing our inventory since we are selling inventory. So they are decreasing our inventory. This is the inventory that we have sold cash. This is the inventory that we have sold on credit. Now we are asked to balance our accounts. We need to look at the bigger side. Which side is bigger between debit and credit? It is debit side. Debit side is 43,000. And then we'll need to add those amounts on the credit side. On the credit side, we are short, so we need to see how much are we short on the credit side so that it is equal to the 43,000. That is the total. Now we'll say 43,000 minus the total of credit side, and we'll have a balance carried down of 24,000. And then we'll write it here as balance carried down 24,000. But we are not done. When we say inventory purchased minus the inventory that we have sold, we want to know how much stock on hand we will have for next month. That is 1st December. So we'll say the total of debit side minus this total of credit side, and we'll have a balance brought down for next month on the debit side for 24,000. All right, we are done with our inventory. Now let's go to debtors control. Let's go to debtors control. How do we do debtors control? Now, the first thing that you should ask yourself, what type of account is debtors control? It is an asset, and so it means it increases on the debit side and decreases on the credit side. So now let's go and do our debtors control. Now, they are saying here, when we do debtors control, we look at sales in the debtors journal and we write that amount in the debit side of our debtors control, because the sales in the debtors journal, they stand for this credit sales. So that is increasing our debtors control. And also we look at debtors control in the CRJ and we write that amount in the credit side of our debtors control. Now, the debtors control in the CRJ, it stands for the amount that we have received from our debtors. Now, that amount is decreasing our debtors control. So we write it on the credit side of our debtors control. Now, let's go and see how much is the sales on the debtors journal and how much is the debtors control in the CRJ. There is the sales on the debtors journal. These sales on the debtors journal, these sales, they are going to go to our debtors journal on the debit side of our debtors journal. They will go to the debit side. They will go to the debit side of our debtors control. And we said the debtors control in the CRJ, it stands for the debtors that paid us. So that is decreasing our debtors control. So it will go to the credit side of our debtors control on the credit side. So this amount is going to go to the credit side and this amount is going to go to the debit side. Now let's go into our debtors control. We'll write November 2024, November 2025 month end, that is 31st November 2025, and we'll write sales from the CRJ, that is 17,000, from the debtors journal. This is a mistake. Here it should be debtors journal. Sales from the debtors journal. So on folio, it should be debtors journal. On folio, it was supposed to be DJ, debtors journal. And we have, that is 17,000. And we have the money that we have received from a debtor from the CRJ, that is the debtor's control on the CRJ. There it is. We write it as bank because that money went inside our bank account. So we'll write bank, and on folio you'll write CRJ, and you'll write 11,000. And then we need to balance our account. Now, which side is the bigger one? It is the debit side. And then we'll write the total of debit side on both sides. And then after, we will say the lesser side, that is credit side, minus the total, and we'll have the remaining or the balance that is short on the credit side for it to be equal to the total. So we'll say 17,000 minus 11,000, and we have a balance carried down of 6,000, and we are going to write that balance as balance carried down. But we are not done. We also need to see if we say the people that we sold to on credit minus those people that paid us, how much is remaining on our debtors control? How much people owe us? Then we'll say 17,000 minus 11,000, it will give us 6,000, and we'll write that as balance brought down for next month, the amount that will be on our debtors control for next month. Now we are not done. We need to do as a stationery account, that is an expense. Now we must use the information to do stationery. Now you know what type of account is stationery. It is an expense, and expenses, they increase on the debit side and decreases on the credit side. Now, how do we do our expense? When we do stationery, that is an expense, we look at stationery from the CPJ and stationery from the creditors journal, and we write those two amounts on the credit side of our stationery. So we look at the stationery that we have bought on cash, and we look at the stationery that we have purchased on credit, and we write that amount on the debit side, because when we are buying, it means we are increasing our stationery. So we'll write on the debit side of stationery account. Now let's go and look at the stationery in the debtors in the CRJ. There is stationery that we purchased cash in the CRJ, 3,700. So that is going to go to the debit side of our stationery. And there is stationery that we have purchased on credit for 2,000, and that is also going to go to the debit side of our stationery. Since we are purchasing stationery, it means we are increasing our stationery, and stationery increases on the debit side. Now let's go and write on the debit side of our stationery. Since we have purchased the first one from the CPJ, we have purchased it on cash, so we said everything from the CPJ, we write it as bank. So because money went out of our business bank account, so on details you write bank, and you write on folio CPJ, and you write 3,700. And we said everything from the creditors journal, we write it as creditors control. This is a mistake. There must be creditors control here, not creditors journal. Control. Creditors control. There must be creditors control. We said that everything from the creditors channel, we write it as creditors control. So we write CJ on folio because it is from the creditors channel, and we write 2,000. Now because the amounts are under one side, they are under one side, so we need to just total them and write the total underneath. There's no need to balance. When the amounts are both on one side, we just total them and we write the total underneath. We do not need to balance. That is how we do general ledger uh, for bank, inventory, debtors control, and stationery. And I hope everyone will listen to this and see how we do general ledger, because general ledger, it always has higher marks in your test, so you need to know general ledger. Thank you.